One strategist in Marvel Rivals Season 9 is winning almost 59% of more than 200,000 track games. Another has been played nearly 1 million times and is still not even at 49. Deadpool's strategist form is sitting at the bottom with 44% win rate across 124,000 matches. Guys, today instead of another opinion-only tier list, I'm going to be ranking every strategist in Marvel Rivals from worst to best, using the actual win rate and the number of matches behind it. And trust me, some of these support placements, guys, are going to catch people off guard. What is going on, everyone? Brolic Sun here, and welcome back to another video. I post Marvel Rivals content every Tuesday and Friday, plus extra uploads whenever NetEase drops a major patch or hotfix. If you like data-driven tier list, hero guides, and meta breakdowns, whenever it shifts, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a ton and helps me to keep making videos like this. So before we rank everybody, one clarification is that this is a results ranking, not a pure measurement of raw hero power. Win rate can be affected by popularity, difficulty, and team composition. That is why every section will show both the win rate and the number of tracked matches. A 58% win rate over 200,000 games means a lot, more than a crazy number from a tiny sample. Current Season 9 patch also matters a little bit. That hotfix, strategists had their healing to ultimate conversion bumped back from 60 to 70%. So these numbers reflect, the current support environment, not last season's meta. All right, so starting at number 13 and working our way all the way up to the best performing strategist right now. At number 13, we got Deadpool, like I mentioned before. He has a 44.39% win rate across 124,861 tracked matches. His support form continues to struggle in Season 9 from a stats perspective, with more than 124,000 games in the sample. This is not like some tiny meme pick number. At this point, Deadpool mains have had time to learn the kit, multiple seasons, and it's still producing the lowest win rate in the class, which would be the support. So in Season 9, there are just too many better support options than support pool if your goal is to climb. And in general, tank pool just looks like the only Deadpool form that's consistently giving players real value right now. I would say my takeaway here is if you main Deadpool, I would seriously look at other roles this season if you're strictly trying to go by, I'm playing Deadpool and trying to go by the numbers. At number 12, we have Jeff sitting at 45% win rate across 209,000 matches. Jeff is fun, but the numbers are not backing him up right now and haven't for a couple seasons. With more than 200,000 tracked games, this is another result we really should take seriously when looking at Jeff, especially at the 12th spot. His kit can still produce huge moments, especially off, a well-timed ultimate, but those pop-off clips are not really turning consistent across the ladder. This is just a good reminder that ease of use and popularity do not guarantee a strong win rate. A hero can feel comfortable to some people, so it's not to say don't play Jeff, but when we're looking at the numbers, there's other strong support options this season. So my takeaway, if you want to play Jeff, play him in a triple support comp. You need support ultimates this season, and it's just Jeff does not feel strong enough if the goal is to win consistently and to climb right now. Number 11, we have Luna Snow, which is surprising at 46% win rate across 390,000 matches. Like I said, this really surprised me because Luna still brings that mobility, and you have people playing DPS Luna, burst healing, and she just has one of the best defensive ultimates in the game. But across, like I said, nearly 400,000 tracked matches, it's really a massive sample, and the win rate just doesn't show that she is at the top of the list right now. The emergency hotfix reduced the energy cost of her ultimate, so she did get some help, but that win rate just hasn't. Maybe it's the DPS, I'm not really sure, but even with that, the broader results just have not pushed her back towards the top of the support class yet. To me, I'd say Luna is still rewarding in good hands, like a really good DPS Luna or a dive Luna we've seen is popular, but she's more execution heavy. So I'd say that, my takeaway from this is that Luna can still take over a game, but in Season 9, she's really asking for a lot of cleaner play rather than a lot of other supports above her. At number 10, we have White Fox, a main of mine. She has a 46% win rate across 377,000 tracked matches. This is another hero with a healthy sample and a result that is just way too hard to wave away. White Fox has mobility, healing, and tools that are genuinely useful into dive, but overall the ladder is just not turning that toolkit into enough wins when we're looking at some of the other supports and their win rates. She is just not at the absolute bottom, which is good, but she's, more than 3 percentage points under 50%, which some of the supports that are above that are just looking a lot better. And after 3 seasons, I don't think it's really a case of players having trouble playing her, and she's really good into the dive. So I think the results look real here. Just was a little bit surprising for me as a Fox main. I would say that she has useful tools, especially to counter dive, but the current Season 9 numbers just they're not calling her top support right now. At number 9, we have Invisible Woman with a 47.66% win rate across 400,000 matches. She received multiple buffs in the emergency hotfix, more healing when retrieving the orb rejection, more self-healing from the Guardian Shield, stronger healing when Mr. Fantastic, and a cheaper ultimate. So overall, it sounds like a lot, but the current rank win for her is still below a 48% win rate. Invisible Woman, as we know from past seasons, can provide excellent peel and disruption and defensive utility, but she also, is a lot to juggle in a real match. So maybe across those other lower ranks, maybe that's why we're seeing some of the lower win percentage. The ultimate timing, if that's off, you could lose a fight based on that. So those are a couple points that I would make there. So my takeaway is that she's better than the bottom group, but right now the average results are not really where you'd want them to be for Invisible Woman. Okay, so at number 8, we have Gambit with a 47.74% win percentage across 298,000 matches. I'd say this is probably one of the most controversial numbers in the video. Gambit with the hotfix was buffed a little bit, actually. His self-healing was increased, the bridge boost healing went from a 50 to 65%, and the Magneto team-up healing was increased. He is also being banned in way more than every other strategist on the list at roughly 20%. So I don't really understand how a hero can scare people so much, and then why they're so scared to leave him open but have a sub 48% win rate, right now out of the supports. I'd say my read is that Gambit has, huge utility, but the average player is just not cashing in on it the best that they could be, and that's what's bringing his win percentage down. His healing, anti-heal, his cleanse, and the card management, they create a lot of decisions, and I think for a lower level support player, it could be, a bit of oppressive and coordinated play. And I'd say Gambit, our takeaway from this is that he's really strong in the right environment with the right player, but the win rate just, has him at that number. So at number 7, we have Cloak Dagger sitting at 48% across 561,000 matches. This is the second largest sample in the class, and it puts them almost dead center without actually reaching that 50%. So Cloak Dagger, they, still popular with the new team ups and stuff, especially. We see it a lot in season 9. That kit can heal, can create pressure, escape, and a high pick rate just means that the data includes, more specialists and brand new players, which I think that's why that win percentage might be a little bit lower for Cloak, as she is really good right now. The important point here is that, out of 500,000 track games with a stabilized 48% win rate, I'd say that's pretty good for Cloak. So I'd say that Cloak is still very flexible and very playable, but by pure results, it looks more like a middle of the pack elite right now. But I would say that they're in higher ranks, probably a little bit closer to high tier. Okay, number 6, we have the new hero Jubilee at a 48% win rate across an absurd 945,000 observed matches. This is the most useful sample in the entire video. Jubilee has been played almost 1 million times already, so her current number is, not really hiding behind any low volume or anything like that at a 48%, close to 50. Her pick rate is nearly 48%, like I said, and it makes sense for the new hero, but with, a lot of experimentation, it can drag the win rate down, especially when we're close to 1 million matches like that. So players at every skill level are obviously going to be locking her in immediately. She did get some help from the hotfix as well. Her ultimate is cheaper. The blooming ball requirement is a little bit lower. The base healing she's more base healing, and then her blade team up was buffed as well. But I've been playing a lot of Jubilee myself, and I would say that, she's slightly, below average right now, but I think she could be really strong with a good player. She has more room to rise, I would say, throughout the season. Okay, so we've officially reached the top 5. If the match count context is helping more than another random tier list, please consider subscribing if you guys are enjoying the video and the stats. I post Marvel Rivals content every Tuesday and Friday, and I'm really trying to make every breakdown the best I can for rank play. Now, the next 5 are where the numbers start to get great. At number 5, we have Loki. Loki is the first hero above 55%, with a 50.32% win rate across 99,271 matches. His sample is smaller than the ultra popular supports, but is still really close to 100,000 games, which is more than enough to take his stats seriously. I would say that Loki rewards map awareness, clone placement, and he's not the easiest support to play, but that kind of decision making hurts like some of the lower ranked players, and the win rate can go down a little bit. So I think with that sample size, he would probably have a higher win rate if we were looking at Loki specialists rather than a smaller scale group of Loki players. I would say my takeaway from this is Loki's strong right now, and he rewards skill and game sense, and the numbers just say that he's definitely worth learning, and I would recommend it as well, even if he's not in the same top tier as the top 3. So at number 4, surprisingly, we have Adam Warlock with a 50.87% win rate across 84,204 matches. This is the smallest sample size amongst the 13 strategists, but across 84,000 track games, it's still pretty substantial. Adam's value is weird because of the resurrection, soul bond, and burst healing. It really can just completely flip a fight without always showing up on the scoreboard, and I think that's where we see a lot of these numbers. His current results suggest that utility is turning into slightly more wins than losses across the ladder. He's not dominating or anything like that, and the sample is a lot smaller than a bunch of the other roster members, but I wouldn't overstate the gap there with Adam. My takeaway here would be that Adam is pretty quietly strong this season, and he's just looking to be one of the more reliable utility supports in the game. Okay, so we're going to get into the top 3, and the top 3 begins with Rocket at 53.91% across 388,000 matches, and I'd say this is where the list really makes a serious jump. Rocket, he combines a high win rate with one of the biggest samples in the class, and I'd say that's kind of exactly what you would want from, a data-driven recommendation here for what supports to play. You want a strong number, like a high win percentage, and then you want a lot of tracked matches. You want to see a lot of tracked matches. So then you can kind of say that he's being played well at lower ranks as well across all of these matches. He benefits from his Season 9 team-up options as well, with the emergency patch improving, his interactions with Groot and Squirrel Girl. He doesn't always have like the craziest montage moments or anything like that, but Rocket's been pretty consistent the past couple of seasons. And I'd say that it's, Rocket's probably one of the safest high confidence support recommendations, especially maybe for a beginner in Season 9 if your main goal is just to climb. All right, so moving into the second option now, here is at number 2, Ultron with a 56.02% win rate across 92,999 matches. The sample's smaller than Rocket's, but a win rate above 56% over 93,000 games is pretty absurdly strong, and we've seen Ultron with his team-ups this season to be pretty strong. Constant pressure with him while healing on top of it, strong mobility, and access to some of the best performing team-up combinations in Season 9, Iron Man, for example. NetEase had to nerf his enhanced interaction with Penny as well, but reducing the drone healing and everything like that, he's still the second strongest among the strategists right now. I'd say the caveat is that he has less than 1/4 of Rocket's track matches, but if you played against Ultron this season, you know how strong he is, and you know how, with the Penny team up especially, his ability to win is pretty high up there. So I'd say Ultron looks pretty elite right now. If you're comfortable with him, I wouldn't say he's a very good beginner support, especially because flyers are difficult to play when they can be countered pretty easily. But anyways, let's get into the number 1 here. With a win rate of 58% across 206,000 matches, we have Mantis. This is really not a tiny specialist sample here, guys. Mantis has been doing very great this season. Her team-ups are very great. With more than 200,000 games, having a win rate of 59% is super significant, and it's even more interesting that the hotfix had reduced some of the healing from the healing flower and nerfed her enhanced healing with Star-Lord as well. But despite those changes, she really just has not fluctuated whatsoever, and is still remaining around a 60% win rate. She gives you healing, pretty good healing, great offensive pressure, buffs, good mobility, and her ultimate can really stabilize fights. Her kit rewards proactive play instead of forcing you to live on the health bars. There's still some context here. Strong players may prefer her, but her team-ups are just performing well, and comps can really help to amplify her value, especially since her base heal is just not as powerful as some of the other characters, like a Jubilee or Invisible Woman or Cloak. Base heal would be that good. So I'd say my takeaway from Mantis here is that if you want to choose purely from current all rank results, Mantis is the clear number 1 strategist, and we've seen a lot of higher level players play her as well, and a lot of YouTubers recommend her from what I've seen. So we have Mantis, Ultron, and Rocket putting up elite results at the top of the leaderboard here, guys. For the strategist, we have in the positive middle Adam Warlock, Jubilee, Cloak and Dagger, Gambit, Invisible Woman, and then as you get a little bit lower down on the list, you have your Jeff and Deadpool, and they're struggling and have very low win rates across their sample sizes. So I'd say the biggest lesson here is that win rate only matters if the sampling size backs it up. Mantis is pretty scary because she has the best number across 200,000, and then I'd say Rocket is probably still easy to convince as the average with 400,000 matches to look across. So I'd like your take, guys. What placement here on this list feels wrong to you guys, or if any of them don't feel as consistent in actual play. If you want more Marvel Rivals breakdowns, guys, I post every Tuesday and Friday, plus emergency coverage whenever there's any patches or hot fixes or updates. If you do want to support the channel, please subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.